Sixers in the bubble, and they've been making some news out there. Of all the teams, bros, they might be making the most news.
Oh, I would have to agree. It's a big move to make Ben Simmons the point forward now.
Just how big of a move is it, and will it work? And are we buying in to these videos of Ben Simmons? We've seen a lot of videos of Ben Simmons, but is there reason to believe that these videos of him shooting three balls, him shooting elbow jumpers, him being a little bit more involved in the offense, is it time to believe what we're seeing on the videos this time? Darryl Reynolds, a member of the 2016 Villanova Wildcats national championship team, host of the Processed Podcast. Look, there's Ben Simmons again.
Three ball, bang, it's good.
Should we believe him? Let's bring D-Ray into the conversation here on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline. Darryl, what's up, man?
What's going on with y'all, man?
So, we see the video. You see the video. Are you moved by the video, or are you just saying, I'll believe it when I see it?
I was moved because the form looked good, but, me and Bros talked about this a million times. At this point, I have to – it's put up or shut up time. And if I don't see it in a game consistently, you know what I mean? There's nothing for him to take one, obviously. Nothing for him to take two. We've seen that. But until I see it, really implemented into his game, it's going to be hard to get very excited about it. But I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh, this is something. This is a nice form.
And it wasn't even that. It was how calmly he caught the ball in his offhand, brought it to his, what we think is his offhand. He brought it to his left hand, and then he just calmly, it wasn't rushed or anything. He's calmly like, hey, if you're going to give me this three, I'll take it. And here's the one thing. We've seen him do it in summer forums, in open gym. I don't know that I've ever seen him do it in an actual practice setting.
Yeah. I think that was the exciting part. It just, like you said, he was calm with it. It looked comfortable. It was fluid. You know what I mean? You hear so many times, guys who are great shooters. I'm not saying Ben Simmons about to go out there and be a great shooter. I don't want to put that out there. But, guys who turn into great shooters or consistent shooters, shall I say, are guys who they just catch it in rhythm. They're comfortable. They look – I've never seen a shooter look frantic. You know what I mean? That's not the mark of a good shooter. So he caught it in rhythm, like you said, just went right into it. He shot it like it is what it is. And I think that's what people want to see. It's not so much of him being out there like Klay Thompson. It's him shooting with that free of a conscience. If I make it, cool. If I don't, I'm going to get back on defense.
Ben obviously is not going to be a stretch four, or so maybe he is after all these videos. What do we know? But I would expect him to not play a stretch four role. So how would you anticipate the Sixers to use him in that power forward position?
I don't think it's really going to be different. I think the only thing that we're going to see that might be vastly different is a four out, one in type of look where he's the one in. But I don't think that him saying that means Ben Simmons is going to start playing like Amari Stoudemire. You know what I mean? I don't think that's what they're talking about. I think he's still going to push the ball like a point guard. I think what they're saying is in half-court sets, Shake Milton would be the guy who set things up. If the other team gets back in transition too well and we got to get the ball to somebody for a point guard and get him down the floor quicker, he'll give it to Shake Milton and Ben Simmons will run to the rim or out on perimeter. But he's not that much of a threat out there on the wing or the corner or top of the key because his guy can just help and play off of him. So I really don't think his role is about to change drastically. I think it's just saying Shake Milton's going to be the guy setting things up in the half court.
Now, I know that now Broads asked me the other day, and I thought it was a good question, whether or not he thinks this is like Brett Brown, throwing a Hail Mary, just saying, hey, look, let's put Ben at the 4 and use Shake Milton. But I guess to kind of offshoot that question is, are they putting too much in Shake Milton's lap here for this? He's only played about 5 games. He's played, I think, 30 games. But, I mean, really, he had this stretch of games that they're going off of to say, all right, you're going to be the point guard, and you're starting, and here you go. Lead us.
I love it, to be honest. I understand this. He's only played so much. But I think the pressure, too, is I got to believe that Brett Brown is good enough of a coach. And the Sixers are good enough for organization to understand that we're putting this pressure on somebody who can handle it. And with that pressure, he's going to perform that much better. He's answered the call every time before. And I mean, worst come to worst, he doesn't perform, he doesn't get the job done, then you put somebody else in there. That's when Al Horford starts playing a bit more. That's when the Mike Scotts of the world start playing a bit more. You go with your old scheme, but we all know, like, that old way they were doing things is stale. So I'm all for mixing it up and kind of putting a little more weight on Shake Milton's shoulders because I think he can handle it. I think he's shown that time and time again. I'm excited, but I feel like he's not only going to show up, but he's going to show out.
What does this mean for the spacing on the floor for Joel Embiid? Where do you think that this could help him, but where can you see maybe the hurting of his game?
I feel like it takes him away from that top of the key area a little bit more. I feel like he has to play more of the stretch four role in the sense of he'll be on the wing, in the slide, in the corner a bit more, not so much of at the top of the key where we all know he's the most comfortable taking his three or pump faking and being able to, drive to the rim off of one dribble and Euro step or just go and dunk. Like him being at that top is a completely different look, but I can't see him being at the top and Ben kind of floating back and forth between the two blocks because that spacing is that's horrendous because whoever's guarding them is big and they can cover a lot of ground. So I think it takes him off the top of the key, but I really don't think it's going to change his game a whole lot either. Like, I feel like they said that because they had to say it because it was a press conference, but I don't think we're going to see a completely different Sixers look throughout the game.
All right, Darryl Reynolds, D-Ray on the NBA with us, Sixers getting ready. So, do you think, though, that they want Ben? Is this a way to try to get to him to be more aggressive? It was almost like Allen Iverson, like, hey, we'll bring Eric Snow in here so you don't have to walk the ball up the floor, but then we'll just give it to you in other spots to get you better opportunities to create stuff so you don't have to, like, bring it up, give it to someone else, and then get it back. We'll let someone else bring it up, and then they can just give it to you, and you can kind of, get a full head of steam or get down on the block. Get him a little bit more aggressive.
Absolutely. I mean, we look back on those days. We all know it. Obviously, some of these younger kids not going to know what we're talking about right now. But, like, when they did that with AI, he stepped into his true position, which was a 2. At the end of the day, AI was a shooting guard. He had to play the point because he was 6 foot in the NBA. But, like, we all know he was a 2. He's better at putting the ball in the basket. Not saying Ben Simmons is that through and through, but Ben Simmons can score in the post at will. I do like a lot of his matchups. Me and Bros talked about it this morning on Process. Like, I like a lot of his matchups inside the arc with a big man being on him. I don't think there's too many big men who can either, A, stay in front of him, or if they can, B, stop him from backing him down. Like, he's a big, strong dude, and I think he's going to do the bulk of his damage inside. And not to mention, if you go to double him or you miss your assignment or you're not looking the same way LeBron can play point guard from that block, kind of like he'll get the ball closer to the block or the elbow extended area or just pretty much anywhere inside the arc and almost play point guard from there. I have to believe in the same skill set in Ben Simmons that if somebody leaves their guy, somebody's slacking on defense, somebody goes to help on him, he's finding that open man. And at that point, it's on them to make the shot. I think this is the best thing Brett Brown has done since he's been there from a coaching standpoint.
What do you think about Ben's post-up game? Do you think that it will be effective enough where if he gets the ball in the paint that he can use it effectively constantly? I get worried that you might see something similar to what Brad Stevens did with building the wall. You might see that just utilized on a different part of the court where he's now in an awkward spot to either do that little floater that he does or take a jump shot, and he's going to get confused based off of that wall. That's my concern.
No, I don't think so. I mean, listen, he getting paid X amount of dollars to be in the NBA. I would hope that his footwork is good enough to understand when to take a jump shot versus when to float it. I think he's going to be great in there. I really, like I said, his turn and face game is good enough. He has a spin move or a counter move. It's not like he's one of those guys that can only go one way. But what really separates guys in the post in today's game is the ability to pass. You know what I mean? If you had a guy like Shaq who, he's going to get the ball down there and score at will because he's so strong, but he can't pass to save his life, and he can't shoot free throws. If anything, that's what I'm worried about, because now that he's in there, it's a little more physical. He has to knock down those free throws. But if you can knock down free throws, score the way he can in the post, and you can pass if things get kind of, a little messy, I don't see how you stop. Like, that's what makes LeBron so good to me. Like, you almost can't stop that because everything you take away, they have a counter to.
All right, D-Ray on the NBA, Darryl Reynolds, and don't forget the Processed Podcast, more Sixers there. Sixers will be getting ready for the exhibition portion of their season, and August 1st, you can hear Sixers and Pacers right here on 97.3 ESPN. Darryl, take care, pal.
fellas. Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all. I'll talk to y'all next week.
As always, Darryl Reynolds, like all guests, appeared via the Boardwalk Honda hotline.